Welcome to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. And most headlines in most places are saying that a Jamaican man has now pled guilty to a triple murder in the United States of America. We're going to get into the details of that. We're going to get into the details of the case, what happened, and what has been happening up to this point. Now, the headline, this is taken from Democrat and Chronicles. This is an article that was written by Democrat and Chronicles.com. You can go find it there. Man who was once deemed unfit to stand trial pleads guilty in Chile Avenue triple homicide. This happened in Rochester, New York. He was once deemed unfit to stand trial. Why? And you will be surprised at the number of years that he got, but we're going to, or could get, but we're going to talk about that also. So, a man who was previously deemed unfit, not ready, not good enough to stand trial, has pled guilty in a 2014 Chile Avenue triple homicide, the Monroe County District Attorney's Office announced on Wednesday. Now, this happened in 2014, the triple murder. We are in 2020. 6 years later, Marlando Allen, who is now 40 years old, the trigger man in the slaying, pleaded guilty to 3 counts of second-degree murder in the February 22nd, 2014 execution-style shooting deaths inside an apartment at 809 Cali Avenue. On March 2020, Allen, a citizen of Jamaica, you notice they didn't say he's a U.S. citizen. You notice they did not say that he was they did not describe him as a immigrant with a green card. They said a citizen of Jamaica. He was declared competent to stand trial. That means he is now ready to stand trial by the State Office of Mental Health. Prosecutors have said he will be sentenced to 15 years to life in state prison, and he will be eligible for possible deportation at the end of his term. So, kind of look like they're going to give him a short time in prison and then fling him back into Jamaica, where we now have a experienced murderer who did a triple murder and did time and pled guilty for it and did time for it, and he'll be back on the soil pretty soon to possibly continue to wreak havoc on society. Or is he going to be a changed man? Because the question of did he do it is no longer on the table. He has admitted to doing it. The question, though, has to do with his mental state of mind. There has been significant disagreement among experts who examined Allen over these 6 years. Court records have showed. People can't help but to think that them did have him lock up in there as a guinea pig and trying all kinds of things on him. Let's try these pills. Let's try these injections. He's a ward of the state now anyways. He's a prisoner, so we can try things upon him. Let's see if this medication works for schizophrenia. Let's see if this one will send him mad. Let's see if, poke and pry and all this. 6 years he's been under the treatment of psychiatric specialists. 6 years. So now we're in 2020. The murders happened in 2014. One doctor said that Allen suffers from schizophrenia and may have shown signs of brain damage. Another doctor testified that Allen was malingering and exaggerating or fabricating his symptoms. So one doctor say he is definitely suffers from schizophrenia. Another doctor says, nah, he's acting and he's acting that up very, very well. He's doing this to hold his court case off and possibly get a lenient sentence. Now, let me explain to you what 15 to life means before we go any further with this. So, 15 years to life sentence means that the inmate cannot be paroled until they have actually served the minimum, which would be 15 years. So in 15 years from now, he will be able to go before a parole board, or he will be eligible to apply to go before a parole board in 15 years. But the sentence also means that he can stay in there until the inmate dies. That is what 15 to life means, right? Anyhow, listen. So doctors are arguing, experts are arguing amongst themselves. Yes, he is capable of standing trial. And another one is saying, no, he's not. He's schizophrenic. So Jeremiah Simmons, 21 years. Her cousin Jacqueline Simmons, 24 years. That's two females. And their friend Michael Nelson, he was 24 years old as well at the time. Now, this man was obviously older than they were, because if he's 40 now, then that means that he was about 34 when this incident happened. So he was 34 and he gunned down a 21, a 24, and another 24-year-old persons, right? These people, they were all shot in the head with the same 9mm handgun. Prosecutors said that one of the victims was suspected of stealing some marijuana from a local drug ring and was killed in retaliation for stealing the marijuana. And Marlando Allen is the one that was contracted to do the killing. Andre, otherwise called Beanie McFarlane, and Stephen Fulcott were also charged in the slaying. Fulcott was acquitted on the murder charges, but was convicted of criminal possession of marijuana. Now, I am sure that Fulcott probably went into court and said, listen, Marlando is the one that did it, because we know blah, blah, blah. Anyways, the day before he was scheduled to go on trial in January of 2016, McFarlane, who is the leader of the marijuana distribution organization, pleaded guilty 1 day before he was set to go on trial. He pleaded guilty to 3 counts of second-degree murder. You know, Sister played this all the way up to the last minute. Now, during his testimony, McFarlane told jurors that he did not orchestrate the hit, but he okayed the hit. He said that he gave Fulcott and Allen the gun used in the shooting. Each victim was shot multiple times. They were found by family members 2 days later. They were killed because one of them, Jeremiah Simmons, was paid by McFarlane to accept shipments of marijuana that were coming in. But instead, what Jeremiah did, instead, secretly kept some of it for herself. Alright? So you see, when the females will talk about when they love and the drugs, man, and the man have to do things like, we're going to set up that shipment point here, we're going to use your address, and when it comes, you just need to collect it and thing there, and then you feel like you can dip in at the people them things and take out some, you will get treated just the same as all their enemies will. Alright? Now, McFarlane, Fulcott, and Allen all lived at 2167 Clifford Avenue, apartment number 7. All of them living at the one apartment. One of 2 apartments in that building where prosecutors alleged that marijuana operations took place and where a search warrant was executed on February 28th of 2014. So they had 2 apartments in the same building and they lived there, right there next to each other. A raid on the location found roughly 80 pounds of marijuana, a large amount of cash, and a variety of firearms, including the murder weapon. This community will always remember the Chile Avenue triple homicide, says Assistant District Attorney Robin Catalano. This is what he said in a release. Mr. Allen's admission of guilt can finally give the family and friends of Michelle Nelson, Jacqueline Simmons, and Jeremiah Simmons peace. Allen is scheduled to be sentenced November 19th of 2020 in a court of law by Judge Vincent Dinolfo. Now, like I said, he's about to get 15 to life. They've already said that. He just has to go stand before the judge and take the sentence. 15 to life, meaning he will have to serve a minimum of 15 years before he can apply to go before a parole board, who would then say, okay, we are going to let you out early. Or you have not been rehabilitated, you need to stay in here much longer. And I cannot see that happening. I think he's going to be one of those people that they keep in there long past the 15 years. However, he is a Jamaican citizen. And a lot of the times, they like to give the mandatory minimum to immigrants who have ties to other countries and have them serve about 15 years, which they will be making a whole lot of money off of him, housing him as an inmate. In the same breath, he will be going through all the craziness that goes on behind prison walls in the United States of America. Now, if it ever gets to the point at that 15-year point, he's 40 years old now, he'll be 55 if he is released at his first parole hearing. So at 55, he goes before the parole board. They say, okay, you're free to go, but we're going to deport you to Jamaica. What Jamaica will be getting is someone who experts in the US have argued that definitely has a schizophrenic disorder to the kind that allows him to be violent enough to execute 3 people. Personally, I don't think this has nothing to do with schizophrenia. That's just my personal opinion. I honestly think he is a good actor. He knows how to play it up. And I honestly also think that he knew what he was doing the entire time he was doing it, and none of it had anything to do with mental illness, with no schizophrenia or anything like that. Here's the thing. Regardless of what the plan is for him, I am very surprised that he did not get life without the possibility of parole, which tells me that they have an interest in unleashing him back on Jamaican society. You understand what I'm saying? Because if they truly cared, I mean, think about this. You murdered 3 people over weed because you thought they stole it, or you prove that they did. However, it's weed. And you took 3 lives, execution style. Gunshots to the head, all of them. And then multiple more shots to the bodies, all of them. Right? You should be given the death penalty for a crime like that, if the death penalty is available in that state. If the death penalty is not available, then the next issue, the next rightful or justifiable sentence should be life in prison without the possibility of parole. But they, as much as they get paid to house prisoners, they don't want this man sitting in their prison system forever and ever. That's just my take on it. I can see them unleashing him again into society in Jamaica. Now, when someone like this is sent back to Jamaica, and there have been others like him who have done their prison time overseas for these violent and vicious crimes, and then they were deported. And I'm not saying that every deportee is a bad person, but I'm saying these types, when they arrive back in Jamaica, let's just say it is really true that he is schizophrenic. Will he be monitored when he is deported back into the country? Will he be made mandatory to get proper treatment for his mental issues? Or will he just be another deportee who came off the plane with the scandal bag and that's it? And he'll be left to roam through society until his schizophrenic ways kick in again without no proper treatment, and then he starts making victims in Jamaica again. Think about it. Think about it. No person of a sane mind could have ever think that it was okay to execute 3 human beings over weed. So this is someone that might not be schizophrenic, but might very well be a sociopath, or a narcissist? Right? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Tell me what you think about the sentence. Tell me if you think they are going to give him the 15 out of the 15 to life, and then on his parole hearing, release him to be deported. Seasoned criminal now, and versed in surviving the U.S. prison system, he will be unleashed into Jamaica. And do you think that he will not be monitored when he gets there, or he will, and possibly continue on that same road? I'll catch you on the next video with SouFLoTV. Walk good, my people. And when you get a little opportunity, you see, if you fly out, use it. Leave all your bad ways at home. Use the opportunity. Maximize the opportunity. Because there's some good life they out here for you to live. I'm out. Peace.